Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Jacob. In this video, I want to talk to you about competition. And we're going to touch a little bit on saturation too. But rather than dwelling on the negative kind of side of, there's too much competition and the market's saturated and I can't win and all that kind of crap, we're going to talk about two ways that you can overcome people that you perceive to be your competition. And we're going to start by talking about the difference between competition and real competition. Then we're going to dive into those two strategies to overcome those people that you feel are left in the bucket of your competition. And then if you stick until the end, we're going to talk about one bonus strategy as well that'll mean you'll completely stand out from the crowd, and competition or saturation will never really be a problem for you if you do this. Okay, it's Sunday night here in Australia. It's 7 o'clock. I was just getting some stuff wrapped up that kind of popped up over the weekend, and just clearing the decks ready for a new week. And I wanted to jump on and film this video because I know a lot of people get stuck in this really negative mindset around competition and saturation, and it holds them back from doing anything. And it's crazy because in a lot of cases, the competition that you think is out there is not as much as it actually is. And then I'm going to arm you with some strategies to overcome that completely. Okay, so before we dive into that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the red button so you subscribe. Click the bell icon so you get notified. Leave a comment or give the video a like if you get any value from it. If you don't know me, my name is Jacob, and you can check out my website, jacobcaris.com. I help people get started with affiliate marketing, particularly high ticket affiliate marketing. And so if that's you, if you're interested in that, there's a link below to the program that I run. With that all out of the way, let's talk about this concept of competition. Now, before we get into the strategies, one of my mentors, his name's Greg Jeffries, he did a presentation at a mastermind that I hosted here on the Gold Coast in Australia in late 2019. And it was a really, really interesting topic of competition versus real competition. And it was not something that I'd really thought about too much before. I'm kind of the type of person that just sets the goal and kind of goes about it without really worrying too much about what other people are doing. Because I just don't see that as being particularly productive. But I know a lot of people get bogged down in this concept of competition. And in his talk, he spoke about these different layers of competition, and I won't go into all of it now, but the core of it was that this big pool of people who you might view as your competition, people that might be trying to, in the affiliate marketing world, people that might be trying to promote the same product as you, or use the same funnel, or use the same traffic strategy or audience building strategy, or a combination of those things, right? Like they might be using a few of those things the same as you. He spoke about how there's such a massive difference between the perceived competition of all of the people trying to do it and the people that are really, really, really doing it. Okay, now the core thing here is that you are genuinely, getting shit done, implementing, working, learning, improving, investing in yourself, and actually doing stuff, right? Otherwise, you're going to fall into the bucket of people who can't be considered real competition. But if you're the type of person that's actually getting shit done, then your real competition is actually going to be very, very, very small. So by virtue of just working hard and constantly leveling up and investing in mentorship and investing in training and taking action and just working towards your goal for an extended period of time, you're going to separate yourself, okay? And that's really the first tip. Is the least sexy piece of advice that I can give you around beating your competition is consistency. Because when you look at a snapshot at a point in time of the people who you might consider your competition, the people who are doing those things that I spoke about before, the same strategy or the same product or the same funnel, or trying to do similar things to you, right? Even if they don't immediately fall into one of those buckets, you're looking at it in a snapshot in time. So what might have happened is that, this new thing came onto the market and people are jumping onto it, or, maybe you were involved in something and then it kind of got a bit more popular and so more people came on, and so you're worried about, you not getting as big a piece of the pie because the competition has increased. You can overcome the vast majority of that by just deploying consistency. Because when you look at it a snapshot in time, sure, there might appear to be a lot of people doing things, but in 3 months' time, the reality is that the vast majority of those people that are doing it today aren't still going to be doing it. Or maybe there's people that are still doing it, but they're half-assing it. They're not going to be still all in, really tackling it head on every single day, because the percentage of people that do that, the percentage of people who take a strategy, execute on it daily, and do it consistently for an extended period of time, sometimes strategies don't, get you an immediate return. You don't get that instant gratification. And the reality is, in the online business world and in life generally, is that people don't stick with stuff, right? If they don't get that instant, rush of gratification from something new, they fall off the bandwagon. Or if they hit a couple of bumps and it doesn't work the way that they thought it was going to work, then they fall off the bandwagon. So you are in a lot of control in terms of beating out a lot of your perceived competition by just being consistent. Because what's naturally going to happen without you really doing anything extra is a lot of them are going to fall off along the way. Okay, so keep that in mind. That is fully in your control. Your ability to deploy consistency, your ability to continue to improve, to test things, to be aggressive in, trying out new things and leveling up in terms of your skills and your mindset, and just constantly trying to evolve as a person and as a business. You're naturally going to outlast a lot of your competition, right? I know there's a lot of people who started in the affiliate marketing space around the same time as me who are no longer doing it, right? Because they didn't consistently level up, try new things, evolve, invest in themselves, all these kind of things. So by simply doing that, you can beat a lot of your competition. That brings me to the second point. And this is something that's really hard to teach people, and it's really hard to quantify. But the best thing that I can do with my students is empower them to do this and give them the confidence to do this and get them in the right mindset that this is what you need to do. And that's being creative. Okay, now I'm not saying that in a wishy-washy way. I'm saying that in terms of getting in the mindset of this online marketing thing, this affiliate marketing thing is about testing. It's about trying new things. It's about looking at something that's already there, that's working, and seeing, can I put a slightly different angle on this? Or can I look at this from a slightly different way? Or can I tweak this in a way that might create a different result or make it unique to me? Being creative will do two things. You're going to get burnt sometimes because it's not going to work, but you're also going to uncover things that nobody else has uncovered. You're also going to develop new and unique strategies to you, which will help you really, really build your brand and build your business. So just trying different things and being creative in the same space as these other people, these competition are playing in, is going to allow you to stand out, and it's going to get you ahead of a lot of people as well. A lot of people are kind of trying to look for the same formula to follow, and they're not being really creative in their content or in how they sell or in what they sell or in how they package their offer, or in trying to bring in ideas from different areas, different businesses, all these things that you can do, right? And it comes back to an appetite to learn and to be hungry to try new things within your business. The people that do that are going to do really, really well. And when you combine even a little bit of creativity, even just trying to do different things, accepting that sometimes you're going to get burnt and sometimes it's not going to work, if you combine that with deploying consistency and just outworking the people that you feel like you're up against that are promoting the same product or promoting similar products, or are trying to sell to the same people or whatever, if you combine those two things, it's going to give you a massive leg up. Now, a completely different piece of this conversation, which is for a completely separate video, is the topic of having an abundant mindset, right? We've spoken in this video about the big difference between your competition and your real competition. By the time you look at the people who are actually executing on a consistent basis, the real competition is a lot lower. But the other side of this is the mindset around abundance. And it's really hard to perceive how much opportunity, money, is out there, I was blessed in my corporate career to work on some big transactions in the multi-billion-dollar kind of range, and that gives you a very good perspective in terms of how much money and how much opportunity is out there, right? So when we're talking about the affiliate marketing model, we're selling things for a couple of grand. They're small transactions. There is a lot of opportunity out there, more than enough for anybody who wants to come in and take advantage of it. It just requires a little bit of work, and it requires a little bit of consistency and a little bit of sacrifice. That's a topic for a whole nother day, how you kind of develop this abundant mindset and understand that if one lead doesn't buy, there's always going to be another lead, right? If one business doesn't work, there's always going to be another opportunity come along, okay? It's a topic for a whole nother day, but it really plays into this overall thing. So they're my 2 tips: consistency and creativity, right? If you do those 2 things, the people that you feel like you're up against in your space, you'll really stand out. And over time, there won't be that many people left kind of next to you, right? You'll create your own little ecosystem or your own little economy around you and your business. And that brings me to the bonus tip, to the last point. And this is something that nobody can replicate. And this is something that no one can take it away from you. No one can copy it. No one can be your direct competition when you do this. And that's simply doing what I'm doing right now and building a brand around you. Building a brand around yourself, your story, what you've done, what you're doing, what you're going to do in the future, your travels, your life, your personal brand where you integrate your stories is 100% unique to you. And nobody can copy that. Nobody can be your competition when you build your brand in that way. Because what's going to happen is when you build a brand that way and you do it the right way with the right strategies, and you deploy your own style, is you're going to attract your people. You're going to attract the people that like the way you do things, and you're going to repel the people who don't like the way that you do things, right? There's people that don't like my content. I've had people tell me that many, many times, and I am totally okay with that, because you don't need to sell to everybody. Like I said, there is a ton of opportunity out there, especially when you're doing high ticket stuff. You don't need to sell to everybody, right? So if you integrate your story, your life, what you're up to, your own little flair based on your experiences and your background and the things that you've done and the things that you're doing and all of these things, if you just make it unique to you and you build a personal brand, no one can really be your direct competition, right? Sure, you can sell the same product, but people are going to be drawn to you because you are truly unique. And if you combine that with consistency and with a little bit of creativity, you can get a framework to follow, strategy to follow. I 100% encourage that, but I always encourage my students, you got to deploy a little bit of creativity. And the students that take the framework and then add their own little flair to it, they're the ones that do really, really, really well. They're the ones who build, big results in a short period of time, is because they take the framework, they take what works, and then they add their own style to it, which means they're attracting their people and they're repelling the people that they don't want to work with. It's a really, really good and a really simple strategy to do that. Is just you do you be you, and naturally what's going to happen is those people are going to be drawn to you, and the people you don't want to work with are going to be repelled. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Now, that kind of attract and repel thing goes a hell of a lot further in terms of what you say and how you say it and all those kind of things, which again is a topic for another video. But if you combine consistency, creativity, and building your business around you and your stories and all those kind of things, it comes back to what we're talking about in the start. You might have this massive pool of people who you feel like are your competition, to the point that maybe you feel like a market is saturated. But then when you break it down across those levels of people who are being creative and people who are being consistent and people who are really trying to be unique with their own stories and their own brand, your real competition is basically nothing. Take the personal brand thing aside, it's going to be a pretty small pool of people. So I wanted to film this now. As I said, it's Sunday night here in Australia, heading into a new week. If you're feel like you're getting trapped in kind of the limited mindset of there's too much competition, something is saturated, that can be debilitating. I understand that. I've been there before. It can be debilitating. But tackle it with this mindset and tackle it with at least some kind of understanding that there is a ton of opportunity out there and there is a ton of abundance out there, and you only need a tiny, tiny micro fraction of a percentage to do really, really, really well. Okay, tackle it with that approach, and you'll crush it. If you're interested in working with me, check out the Super Affiliate Accelerator. There's a link in the description. Like I said, we focus on high ticket affiliate marketing, getting people started and growing in that space. We'll take you through a path of starting with organic traffic and then graduate you up into paid traffic when you've got some profits coming in and you're ready to reinvest those. Check it out. It's definitely not for everybody. There's work involved. We're going to be helping you build a brand, helping you build an audience, and helping you monetize that in the right way. So you're building something with longevity. So you're building something that's sustainable by learning real marketing and sales strategy. So if that interests you, check it out in the description. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Tackle your competition, tackle your business with this mindset, and you'll absolutely stand out from the crowd, and you'll run past most people who right now maybe you feel like they're your competition. Okay, have a fantastic week. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like if you got any value from it. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.